I bought an abandoned boat for 3,000 euros, and today I'll show you what I found inside. Watch until the end and you'll discover why this boat is considered a true legend and why it's valued all over the world. My name is Vita, and this is the story of how I'm restoring my boat. Do you know which yacht was one of the first mass-produced fiberglass boats in the world? Or who designed the first maxi yacht that changed sailing history? Let me tell you, and by the end you'll see how this is all connected to me. In 1933 in Zaandam, a man and his wife founded a new shipyard. First they built canoes and dinghies, later came selling yachts and dozens of innovations. The wing-ship Finkill, the first ultra-fast Fleetwood yachts, the first serial fiberglass yacht, and finally, the legendary Starnvogel. Van der Stad designs weren't just boats. They became legends, benchmarks of quality and engineering. 30 years later, a new shipyard appeared, Diller. Its founders, two brothers, also started with boats and inflatables. Willy Diller wanted to create a sailing boat that was trailable, unsinkable, had berths and even a removable roof. Van der Stad joined the project, and together they launched the first sailboat, the Varianta. It was dinghy that quickly became popular. Over 4,000 boats were sold in just 16 years. That success paved the way for a much bigger dream. And that dream was nothing less than Willy Diller's vision of the ideal cruising yacht. Fast, seaworthy, and still transportable by trailer. And what was the result in the end? I'll tell you about that later. For now, let's move on to my story. Our repair started with cleaning, specifically clearing out the aft cabin. Honestly, I thought it would be more boring, but it turned out to be pretty fun. I even enjoyed it. The cabin was filled with everything imaginable, like a storage room. We sorted everything into trash and keep. I found a lot of things. Old clothes, plastics, paint, even stainless steel screws, which was pretty nice. And the most incredible find, the tiller. When I pulled it out, I was stunned by its beauty. My dad said it was made of mahogany. It was long, smooth, and elegant. Honestly, I'd never been impressed by a tiller before, but this one was different. It was gorgeous. I once started wondering, would I prefer a tiller or a wheel? I still don't know the answer, but after admitting it for a while, I carefully put it back in place and we carried on. And now, let's go back to the story of building this boat. It's the second joint project between Diller and Van der Stad, the Optima 83. This first model was more experimental, not mass-produced. But the real series began with the Optima 92, and this boat truly stood out. It was a keelboat, suitable both for open sea and inland waterways. And that's where my story begins. My boat is the Optima 98, almost the same as the 92, but bigger, faster, and with better sailing performance. Thanks to its folding mast, she can easily pass under bridges, and with her full-ton displacement and large sail area, she's surprisingly fast for her size. This cruiser is the perfect mix of German quality and brilliant Dutch design. A boat built to race and win, but also designed for comfortable cruising. My father has set himself the task of redesigning the interior to make it livable for long periods, increasing freshwater capacity, adding household equipment, solar panels, and an electric motor, but without overloading the boat. In the next videos, you'll see how he works on this project. And now, since we're done with the story, we can get back to cleaning. Getting the cushions out of the cabin wasn't easy. My mom pulled from outside while I pushed from inside. Teamwork. In the end, we managed. And under the leather, I found almost brand new fins in my size. That felt like a huge win. Next, we moved to the fore cabin. Here there was much less work to do. We cleared out moldy clothes and a few things from the lockers. Everything we decided to came from the aft cabin, we stored in the fore cabin for now. It's small and not really comfortable to sleep in, but it might serve well as a storage space. In the saloon, we discovered all documents, an engine manual, a huge folder with all the yacht paperwork, and as a bonus, a little booklet with notes. We also found a magazine featuring this model of boat. On one page, there were small orange cups on the picture, and unbelievably, the exact same cups with saucers were still in one of the lockers. How did they survive all these years? There was also a box full of fishing gear, tackle, lines, sinkers, and on the table, life jackets, which according to my dad were good quality ones. The whole cleanup felt like time travel, like being a marine archaeologist uncovering artifacts from the past, from the useful and beautiful ones to the useless and moldy. Among them were old instruments, a radio with a phone-like handset, and even a kerosene yacht heater. The next task was the sails. We needed to take them down and check their condition. They had been sitting in the sun for many years. The mainsail was covered with a cover, which by now had moss growing on it. Touching it with bare hands made my skin dry out. Probably the only one unpleasant part of the job. We took it down. Some fittings had to be unscrewed or even broken. The plastic had turned brittle under the sun. The cover itself was ruined and went straight to the trash. Then came the mainsail. We spread it out on shore. Since most of it had been protected, it wasn't too bad. But the parts left uncovered were badly sun-damaged. Next was the head sail, and it was worse. It was difficult to slide out of the groove, but the good news was that the furler itself was in perfect working order. No rust and no damage. The sail, however, had no cover at all and was completely sun-bleached. The fabric inside was still strong, but the exposed parts were torn and frayed. The sail couldn't be used anymore. We decided to keep both sails as patents for ordering new ones later.
There once was a ship that put to sea, and the name of the ship was the Bully-O-Tea. The winds blew hard, her bow dipped down, oh blow me, Billy boys blow. Soon may the wellermen come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. She hadn't been 2 weeks from shore when down on her a right whale bore. The captain called all hands and swore he'd take that whale in tow.
And then the deck. It looked terrifying. Layers of dirt, moss and mold. It felt like a challenge. How to clean it without messing up the neighboring boats? First, we brushed the worst of it. Later, using a portable pressure washer, we washed them down. Hours under the hot Spanish sun, with me and my dad scrubbing with brushes, soaked in sweat and foam. The dirt fought back, but finally, white paint started to appear. The more we cleaned the boat, the dirtier we got ourselves. But the transformation was incredible. The boat no longer looked abandoned. She was coming back to life. And this was just the beginning of her rebirth. To see how this boat transforms and sails again, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. And if you join my Patreon, you'll get access to exclusive content and a private chat with me. Plus, I'll be happy to personally thank you in a future video. See you!
Sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Bye, die,